Lou Holtz was attributed with this saying, "It's not the load that breaks you down, it's the way you carry it." Through this presentation, my goal is to show you just how right Coach Holtz was. In most applications, it's not about how strong you are, it's about how you're using your muscles. This is called biomechanics or body physics. We can use our knowledge to our advantage to know how to use our bodies in order to alleviate some of the undue stress we put on our bodies. This quick video is an example of using biomechanics to make our jobs easier. This is a video of an owner playing fetch with her dog and how she uses a tool like this one to play fetch with her dog. So at first, this owner just shows an example of this rigid structure. It's an apparatus that's used to throw a tennis ball. So she's going to show the difference between just using her arm, which is that first example, and she managed to throw the ball about 40 yards. And then upon retrieval, when her dog comes back with the ball, she uses the apparatus the second time around. As you can see, she's able to launch the ball quite a distance further. It's not because she suddenly got stronger between that first and second throw. It's because she used the apparatus, which applies biomechanics principles, in order to achieve a further distance. You can see through this video that in order to increase the distance the ball was thrown, the owner didn't do any bicep curls or throwing exercises to get that distance further. She just used her brain. Where others say practice, 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 I say stop and think. How can you work smarter, not harder? Instead of hitting the gym, I suggest hitting the books. Whether it's weightlifting, golfing, running, hitting a baseball, or shooting a basketball, applying biomechanics principles will turn you into more of an all-star athlete than clocking in hours at the gym. This is largely due to application of force and how to make the most of it. And as we look at this dog toy example, I'll go through some of the principles of lever systems in biomechanics and how this apparatus acts as a lever system. We can apply force by using levers. Levers can be used so that a small amount of force can be used to displace a larger amount of force. This is called mechanical advantage, where initially I wouldn't be able to pick up 500 pounds. I can use a lever system to displace the amount of force, gravitational force, and actually move a 500-pound weight or a 500-pound structure, rock, something. Levers are a three-part system composed of a fulcrum or pivot point. So in this structure, it'll be here where I'm flexion of my wrist would be the fulcrum. The second part is the effort, where my thumb is pushing and putting an amount of force onto upward on this lever system. And the last part is the load, and it's any weight bearing or gravitational force downward against the effort. So this is comprised of those three parts and functions as a lever. Our bodies are composed of lever systems in virtually every joint we have, from our elbows down to our ankles and everywhere in between. Lever systems are classified into three categories, depending on where the fulcrum lies between the effort and the load. So in this case, we have a third-class lever system. All that means is the fulcrum is on the outside and the effort is in between the fulcrum and the load. The interesting part about this is that in our own bodies, a third-class lever system is the most common. So, coincidentally, this third-class lever system is an extension of your elbow flexion, which in and of itself is a third-class lever system. Using levers adds force most primarily because it has rotational force instead of just shear force. So in our bodies, we can apply force just by pushing our hands together. We're applying force against the other. But as we add rotation, like in a lever system, around that pivot point, the rotation exponentially increases the force that's put upon it. With rotational force, the measurement is called a torque. Torques are calculated by the amount of force put on the structure times the length of the moment arm, or the length of the lever arm, the lever. While it's unnecessary to know how to calculate the moment of inertia of a tennis ball, it's very helpful to know the basic concepts of biomechanics so that you don't have to work so hard. With this example, owners are able to use biomechanics to make the game of fetch a lot easier on the human end. The same concepts apply to your golf swing and your squat max. Using levers allows you to use rotational torques instead of just shear force. This can alleviate undue stress on your body and, hey, make you look a lot more athletic while you're at it. I hope that through this presentation you were able to learn how biomechanics are so applicable to everyday life, and maybe also learn a trick or two to show off how strong you are to your friends. Thanks.